How to start an LLC in California. Want to launch your business as a California Limited Liability Company, LLC? California could be the right place for you. Note: California has temporarily waived the filing fees for most business formations, including LLCs. The cost of filing California Articles of Organization had been $70, but is now $0. This guide will walk you through the entire process, step by step, for forming your California LLC. Starting a limited liability company in California. LLC California formation process. Starting a California LLC begins with choosing a name. You'll need to check that the name you want isn't already registered to another business owner. Your name must also follow all state guidelines. Finally, you'll get set up with the IRS and apply for any business licenses, permits, or insurance policies that are required by your industry. 6 steps to a limited liability company in California. Below, we'll cover how to form an LLC in California in 6 simple steps. Step 1. Name your California LLC. The first step to starting your business is to name your California LLC. Your name plays a huge part in how the public views and perceives your brand. So, it's important to make a great choice. Name requirements for a limited liability company in California. Avoiding profanities. Not using an already registered name or one that's confusingly similar to a name already in use. Avoiding names that could mislead the public. Avoiding names that make your company sound like a government agency or entity. Reserving a business name. It's important to make sure your desired name hasn't already been taken in the state of California. Our business name reservation service not only reserves the name for you, but also does a search for your desired name to make sure it's available. File a fictitious business name, FBN, in California. Some businesses use an FBN, or fictitious business name, when they register under a different moniker. This is also known as a doing business as or DBA name in most other states. Trademark your company name or logo. Registering a trademark in California can help protect your business or DBA from being used by others in the state. When starting your LLC in California, intellectual property includes things like your brand name, your logo, inventions, written or artistic work. Register a trademark in California. In the state of California, you can file to register a trademark for a fee of $70 per classification code. Secure a domain name for your LLC. You can conduct a quick online domain name search to make sure the domain name you want is available, and then have us register that domain for you. Step 2. Appoint a California agent for service of process. The next step is to appoint a California agent for service of process. In other states, this is more commonly referred to as a registered agent. 1. Agent for service of process requirements. Being a resident of California or a company authorized to do business in the state. Having a physical mailing address in California, a P.O. box will not suffice. Being over the age of 18. 2. Agent for service of process responsibilities. Will be notified if the business has been sued or has had legal action taken against it. Is responsible for relaying any information received to the appropriate people at your LLC. Should always be available during normal business hours to receive service of process. Must accept important government mail. 3. Hiring a registered agent service. Private receipt of potentially embarrassing paperwork, for instance, legal action that's taken against you. Ability to move your office location without having to update your registered agent address with the state. Assurance that notifications will be received and dealt with in a dependable, timely manner. ZenBusiness can be your agent for service of process. A great way to avoid any issues related to your agent for service of process is to use a professional registered agent service. Our registered agent services mean that there will always be someone available to receive important legal, tax, and other notices from the state. Step 3. File California Articles of Organization. What to include in your California LLC Articles of Organization. California LLC Articles of Organization should include your business name and address, contact information, your name and information for your agent for service of process, whether your LLC will be manager-managed or member-managed, signature of the organizer. File paperwork in person, by mail, or online with the California Secretary of State. California does not charge a filing fee when submitting your Articles of Organization. However, there may be a fee for submitting paperwork in person. All in-person filings are considered to be expedited and will be processed faster than online or mail submissions. File in person for expedited processing in California. The expedited timelines are guaranteed and begin at the time that the paperwork is received. All expedited paperwork must include the file you're submitting. The file needs to be signed by all involved parties. This will be personally delivered to the California Secretary of State's office in Sacramento. Digital signatures are not viable or accepted by the state on paper copies. A copy of your preclearance response. Your complete filing fee. The complete expedited fee. This will need to be a separate check and will be deposited even if your request is rejected. A note and/or instructions on your requested class, as well as specific filing date, if applicable. Notification on filing response. How do you want to be notified? The name and phone number for a point of contact. Digitally store your California Limited Liability Company documents. If you have us handle filing your Articles of Organization, once the state of California approves your LLC, you can digitally store and organize your paperwork in your ZenBusiness dashboard. This is where you can keep it and other important paperwork digitally organized. Member managed or manager managed. Many LLCs opt for member management because they only have a few owners or just one. In those cases, it often makes sense for the LLC owners to select member management because they're running the day-to-day business operations themselves. In the manager-managed option, one or more LLC members can be appointed to make management decisions, or someone from outside the LLC can be hired to manage the company. Why would I delay my California LLC filing date? One of the biggest reasons new entrepreneurs choose to delay their LLC filing date is to avoid taxes and costs for a little longer. In this case, they delay their filing until January 1st of the following year. But you also have the option to tell the state that you want your effective date to be at a later time. You can choose to have your LLC's effective date be up to 90
Step
days
4.
past the date
File
you submit
California
the filing. Statement of information. Your statement of information has to be filed within 90 days of formation to retain your LLC name and status with the state. The statement of information is also filed with the California Secretary of State and can be done in person or online, because each entity can be updated on the California Secretary of State website. Finally, when filing your statement of information, remember that this information will be open for public record. Biennial report. You'll also need to renew the statement of information every 2 years, as long as you continue to operate and remain in business. When refiling within your intended time slot, there's a fee for renewal on all California LLCs. If you have more than one member within your LLC, this is added to the original paperwork with no additional charge. Electronic signatures. In addition, the Secretary of State website advises, electronic signatures on filings submitted through the Secretary of State's online process are the only electronic signatures that are acceptable for filings with the Secretary of State. Computer-generated signatures or fonts made to look like a signature printed on paper filings are not acceptable. Step 5. Create an operating agreement. Your California operating agreement outlines the rules and operating procedures for the management of the LLC, much like the bylaws required by corporations. Whether members have the right to admit additional members. An explanation of the business's terms and conditions. How the business will be managed and ran. The circumstances, if any, under which the cessation of membership of one or more members will result in the LLC's dissolution. A plan of succession for when a member passes away. California LLC operating agreements. Most states do not require LLC operating agreements, but California does. Your company can benefit from an operating agreement for many reasons. To help uphold the limited liability aspect of your limited liability company in the eyes of the courts. Settling disagreements between LLC members. Clarifying business structure ownership. Proving legitimacy with financial institutions, the state, and the federal government. Do I need an operating agreement if I'm the only owner? While it's true that operating agreements can help you avoid disputes among LLC members, that's not the only reason for having one. In fact, even single-member LLCs can benefit from this internal document. Furthermore, many banks won't let you open a business bank account without one. Step 6. Apply for an EIN. An Employer Identification Number (EIN) is the tax ID number for your LLC. Your EIN identifies your company to the Internal Revenue Service (IRS), much like your Social Security number identifies you with the federal government. An EIN also allows you to open a business bank account and is a requirement for hiring employees. Open a business bank account for your LLC in California. After you have your EIN, you'll be able to open a business bank account for your LLC. Separating your business accounts from your personal banking is critical. Note, you can also get a business credit card. By using a business credit card for company expenses, you further separate personal and business funds. Can filing as an S-corp lower my taxes? An LLC is taxed as a sole proprietorship by default if it has only one member, and the default tax status for LLCs with multiple members is a partnership. This means LLCs avoid the double taxation faced by many corporations, in which a business pays taxes at both the business level and again when the income is paid to the individual owners. But some LLCs opt to be taxed as a C corporation or an S corporation because it works to their advantage. All California LLCs that choose S corp as their tax filing classification must pay a 1.5% state franchise tax on their net income. Recurring costs for your California LLC. The California Franchise Tax Board requires all businesses to pay an annual franchise tax of $800. LLC owners must file with the state and pay their annual tax to the Franchise Tax Board by the 15th day of the fourth month following their business's formation. Busy season for State of California filing LLC paperwork. Due to the nature of these payments, California is often busier filing LLC paperwork toward the beginning of the year. Keep in mind that it could take longer during this time to be approved and receive your paperwork. Filing forms can also be post-dated, but not by more than 90 days. Thank you for watching all step-by-step process. Are you ready to finally take the leap and launch the business you've been dreaming about? You're getting ready to form your own limited liability company or LLC. But wait, where do you start? ZenBusiness can easily guide you through the 5 legal steps of starting your LLC. Step 1. Select a great name for your LLC, one that no other business uses. Step 2. You must choose a registered agent to receive state correspondence and legal notices for you in person. Step 3. File your articles of organization. Once paperwork is approved and fees are collected, your LLC is official. Step 4. Create an operating agreement. This establishes the important rules for operating your company. And finally, Step 5, apply for an employer identification number to open a bank account or hire employees. You may also need to review tax requirements. Feeling a little overwhelmed? Don't worry. Click the link in the description to let ZenBusiness quickly and easily form your LLC.